In this class, we are going to discuss the biodiversity conservation. That is, why should we conserve the biodiversity? Actually, the chapter only biodiversity and conservation. We have studied most aspect about the biodiversity. Now, we should know why we should conserve biodiversity. Do we have any benefit by conserving the biodiversity? Let us see whether we have benefits or not in this class. So here we are discussing why should we conserve biodiversity, or what are the benefits of biodiversity? Benefits of biodiversity. So these are the aspects we need to study in this class. Yes, of course, biodiversity means to say that there are multiple benefits from this biodiversity, and all these benefits are grouped into three major categories. Then, which are the categories? We'll see what are the categories of the benefits of biodiversity. So here the categories are like narrowly utilitarian, which means economical benefits, and the second one is broadly utilitarian, which are ecological benefits, and the third category is that ethical benefits. So these are the three categories. As I said, biodiversity has multiple benefits, and all those benefits are grouped into three categories: narrowly utilitarian, which means economical benefits; broadly utilitarian, ecological benefits; and the ethical benefits. Now we will discuss one by one in detail. The first one is narrowly utilitarian. Here, the main reason why should we conserve biodiversity is that we humans derive the countless direct economic benefits from the nature, isn't it? Every day, each and every day from the nature we are obtaining countless number of benefits. They are economical benefits. Then which are the countless economical benefits we are obtaining from the nature every day? So the products like the food products like fruits, cereals, pulses, etc. Isn't it? We are obtaining these fruits, cereals, pulses, everything from the nature only, from the biodiversity only. Is it possible to manufacture the food products like fruits, cereals, pulses? It is not possible to manufacture, only we can obtain from the nature. And some other products like timber, firewood, these are also obtaining from the nature. And fibers, so fibers, especially the cotton and jute from plants. The cotton and jute we are obtaining from plants, whereas the silk and wool it is obtained from animals. Then construction materials like timber, bamboo, cane, etc. they are obtaining from the nature only. And industrial products. So which are the industrial products? Like tannins, gums, resins, perfumes, lubricants, dyes, all these are the industrial products which are obtained mainly from the nature. And lastly, the products of medicinal importance. So here we are talking about narrowly utilitarian, that is economical benefits. So why we should conserve the biodiversity? Because we humans, we are every day getting countless economical benefits from the biodiversity. So without that biodiversity, we cannot obtain all those benefits, isn't it? So if we destroy the biodiversity, we cannot get the food products like fruits, cereals, pulses, etc. And when we destroy the biodiversity, when we destroy the plants, we cannot get this timber, firewood, fibers like cotton, jute, silk, wool, and construction materials like timber, cane, bamboo, and industrial products as I mentioned, and the products of medicinal importance. So all these products are obtained from the biodiversity. So without that biodiversity, we cannot obtain all these products. That's why we should conserve biodiversity. And moreover, 25% of the more than 25% of the drugs which are currently sold in the market worldwide, which are mainly derived from plants. Do you know that most of the drugs which are prepared or which are derived from plants? That is what I am saying. More than 25% of the drugs currently sold in the market across the world, they are mainly derived from plants. And about 25,000 species of, so here 25% of the drugs they are derived from plants, and about 25,000 species of plants they are used in a traditional medicine system by native people across the world. So in the villages side, you may be knowing that Ayurveda, Unani likewise. So 25,000 species of plants they are used in the traditional medicine system. So these are about the narrow utilitarian. So these are all the benefits we are obtaining from the nature, and these narrow utilitarian, they are the direct uses from the nature or from the biodiversity. And the next one is broadly utilitarian. It is nothing but ecological benefits. So this broadly utilitarian, it refers to or it deals with the unlimited ecological or ecosystem services provided by the biodiversity to the mankind. Yeah, again the biodiversity providing the unlimited ecological or ecosystem services to us. I am saying that towards the mankind, which means it will be provided to us. Then which are the unlimited ecological benefits which are obtained from the biodiversity. So these broadly utilitarian ecological benefits like the first one is called pure oxygen. Pure oxygen. So this is one of the major ecological benefit we are obtaining from the biodiversity, isn't it? So due to the photoionization of water during photosynthesis, the plants will produce the elemental oxygen as an end product, and that oxygen will be utilized by us. And the Amazon rainforest, it is estimated to produce 20% of the total oxygen on the Earth's surface, on the Earth atmosphere through photosynthesis. This is very, very important. See, we are mainly obtaining the oxygen from the plants. Without plants, without biodiversity of plants, we cannot obtain the pure oxygen. So that is very, very important. This is the ecological benefit obtained from the biodiversity, the pure oxygen only obtained from the biodiversity. That's why we need to conserve biodiversity. So the percentage of total oxygen produced by the Amazon rainforest is about 20%. Then the second factor is that pollination. Pollination. You know what is pollination and pollinating agents, etc. So here the pollination by insects, birds, bats, animals, it is one of the supreme ecological benefit obtained from the biodiversity, and it is very, very crucial for plants, isn't it? Pollination is very, very important for plants, without which we cannot get any fruit or seed. So in order to obtain fruits and seeds, pollination must be happen in the plants. But there are some chances like wind pollination, water pollination, all those factors are there. But in certain plant species, there are some special kinds of mechanism, that is like pollination by birds, pollination by bats. Likewise, in such plants, these pollinating agents are very, very important. If you destroy the pollinating agents, here the plant cannot produce fruits and seeds. So again it will be one of the demerit to us. If we destroy the biodiversity, initially it will limit the pollination. So here pollination cannot be achieved. So because it is not pollinated, it will not produce fruits and seeds. Again we cannot get the fruits and seeds. That is important. So first one is pure oxygen, second one is pollination, and next one is, the third one is flood and soil erosion control. Floods and soil erosion control. So here the plants, with the help of plant biodiversity, as there are many plant species which are present on the earth, the plants, they will prevent or they will control these floods by water absorption and percolation. They will absorb the water, then percolating the water, so it will be controlling the floods. And plants can prevent soil erosion with their net-like root system. So if you cut down the trees, if you destroy the biodiversity, the floods and soil erosion will be taking place. Again, they will be threat to the human survival. That's why we need to conserve biodiversity. And the next factor is that nutrient recycling. Nutrient recycling or replenishment, we can say like that. So nutrient recycling, it is mainly due to the plant biomass. Plant biomass, which means when the leaves falls on the ground, after the dried leaves which are usually falls on the ground, and even after the death of the plant, it will undergo decay. During decomposition, the saprophytic bacteria, the saprophytic fungi, they help in degradation of the plant material, and whatever the nutrients which are present in the plant, they will be recycled, because from the soil only the nutrients are absorbed by the root, then it will be transported to leaves. When leaves falls on the ground, whatever the nutrients which are present in the leaves, that will be again entered into the soil. That is called as nutrient recycling, that you have well studied in the mineral nutrition chapter. So try to remember. So here nutrient recycling is also one of the important thing. So why we need to conserve biodiversity? Because for the nutrient recycling. If we are destroying the biodiversity, nutrient recycling cannot be occurred, and further we cannot grow any plants in that particular area. And moreover, to enjoy the aesthetic beauty of the nature, like flowers are more attractive. So when we look at the flower, we feel happy. So to enjoy that aesthetic beauty, and when we hear the bird sound, it will be somehow very, very interesting to know about to hear the sound of the birds. So likewise, so these are various factors why we should conserve the biodiversity, and all these factors comes under broadly utilitarian, that is ecological benefits. And the next one is ethical benefits. So next is ethical benefits. Here ethical benefits in the sense applying certain moral principles. You may heard about moral stories like that. So here by applying moral principles for conservation of biodiversity, and how applying the moral principles for conservation of biodiversity, it is mainly through cultural, religious and spiritual beliefs. We have cultural beliefs, we have spiritual, religious beliefs. So through all these beliefs, we can able to conserve the biodiversity by applying the moral principles. And by preserving the biodiversity morally, we can restore the healthy environment to the next generation. When we conserve, now if we preserve the biodiversity morally, later we can build or we can restore a healthy environment for the next generation. And one thing, You should remember that, or we can realize that each and every organism or each and every species which have a natural or fundamental value, whether it may have or which may not have the economic value, whether it may have the economic value or not, but each and every species have the natural or fundamental value. And one more thing, very important thing, each life has the right to live. So every living organism has the right to live, and no organism have the right to kill other organism, but also we are doing that. But we have a moral duty to care for their well-being. Whatever the living organisms which are present on the earth surface, we have a moral duty to conserve them or to care for them. So when we care for them, we are conserving the biodiversity. When we are conserving the biodiversity, we can able to survive better in the earth's surface. So these are the reasons why we should conserve biodiversity, or what are the benefits of biodiversity. And in the next class, we need to know how to conserve biodiversity. Till now, why to conserve biodiversity, and in the next class, how to conserve biodiversity. Now, we will discuss few objective questions related to today's class. So the first question number 92. The reason why should we conserve biodiversity includes option A, narrowly utilitarian, option B, broadly utilitarian, option C, ethical benefits, option D, all of the above. So your option D, all of the above is the correct answer. Next question. Read the following statements and find out the incorrect statement. Option A, more than 25% of the drugs currently sold in the market worldwide are derived from plants. It is correct. Option B, 25,000 species of plants contribute to traditional medicines used by native people around the world. It is also correct. Option C, Amazon rainforest is estimated to produce 25% of the total oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere through photosynthesis. Whether it is correct? I told you it is 20%. The Amazon rainforest estimated to produce 20% of the total oxygen, but here they have given 25%, so this option is wrong. And option D, the act of pollination comes under broadly utilitarian. Yes, the act of pollination comes under broadly utilitarian. Yeah, option C is the only incorrect statement. Next question. Exploring molecular, genetic and species level diversity for products of economic importance is called option A, biofortification, option B, biomagnification, option C, bioinformatics, option D, bioprospecting. Here you know what is biofortification. It is the increasing the nutrient quality in crops that you studied in the biotechnology chapter. Biomagnification, it is the accumulation of toxic substances in the tissues that you may have studied in the ecosystem chapter. And next one, bioinformatics, actually it is a branch of biology and computer science. It deals with the analysis, data, etc. And option D, bioprospecting, it is actually the exploring molecular, genetic and species level diversity for the products of economic importance. So the definition for bioprospecting is the question only. And next question, bioprospecting is related to option A, narrow utilitarian, option B, broadly utilitarian, option C, ethical benefits, option D, all of these. Here bioprospecting is related to narrowly utilitarian because it comes under narrowly utilitarian. So this completes about the benefits of biodiversity or why to conserve biodiversity. In the next class we will take up the how to conserve biodiversity.